My boyfriend bought a new PS5 and is addicted to it. He plays it day and night. He started calling in sick to work so he can stay home and play. Then he was out of paid leave, so he started lying to his boss about why he couldn't come in. So his job was not paying him for the time he's taking off. Finally, he got one last warning. The boss called and I picked up the phone. He asked where my boyfriend was and whether he was coming back to work. I straight up said no, because he was up all night playing video games. He told me to tell him to not bother coming back and his final check would be arriving in the mail. 2 hours later, he woke up and called me. I was at work and said he got a text from his boss saying he was fired. I said, yeah, I know. He called for you and I talked to him. Now he's mad and says I didn't have his back and that he had it all under control until I screwed things up. This is going to be a big problem because losing his paycheck is going to hurt us financially, but he hadn't been helping anyway. But this is not my fault. He has to take responsibility, right? Will his addiction to video games go away, or is this something I have to get used to?
Me and my girl have been together for a little over 10 years. We have children together. Here's my dilemma. My girl expects me to pay the majority of the bills and pay the full amount of rent. Just last month we got into a heated argument about how much we each bring to the table and who's lacking. She has a good job and so do I. She gets paid bi-weekly and I get paid every week. How is it fair for me to pay all the bills and rent and still have her ask for money for her bills? I don't mind helping her out, but not when she throws things in my face. I want out of the relationship, but I love my 3 girls that we have together and I want to be there for them and see them grow. I don't want to miss my kids grow, but I can't stand my girl sometimes. I feel like child support would be cheaper than having all the financial scrutiny that I go through just to be happy.
Last year my boyfriend and I broke up. He had bought me a ring and everything and planned on getting married in 2024, but it wasn't working out and I ended the relationship. I've kind of moved on, but now I just found out from a friend that works with him that he's dating a younger girl. He's 31 and his new girlfriend is 20. I don't know what to do with this. I'm heartbroken and I miss him. I don't think it's right that he's dating someone much younger and he's in the open this soon. Should I confront him? Miss my man.
My husband and I have been having problems. It started about a year ago on our anniversary. I found flirty text messages between him and my best friend. They spent all day messaging each other for months. He even told her he would like to invite her wine tasting. This isn't the first time I've caught him texting during our relationship. Now, I love him but I don't know how much more I can take. We've worked on the relationship but it keeps happening. Every day I wonder who he's flirting with. Last month I caught him again with a different friend of mine. Our 3rd anniversary is coming up next month. He wants to celebrate. I'm thinking of celebrating by telling him we're through until he stops doing this. What do you think? Will he change? Hurt and confuse wife.
My fiancé and I have had a great, solid relationship for over 11 years. He's a supervisor at his job. I found out one of his employees sending him the kissy face and heart eye emojis in messages to him. He didn't react to it by what I saw and continued to talk about work. He said she sent them because he sent an email to the office giving her credit for a big sale. He said this was the first time she sent something like that and that he was also taken back so he ignored it. I've seen texts over time of her venting about other people in the team that I didn't think anything of because I know this is how they all usually communicate, but this has me second-guessing everything. We argued pretty bad for the first time in a long time. He said I wouldn't understand because he's social with everyone, unlike me who's usually reserved. He ultimately apologized, recognized how bad it looks and said that he should have addressed it but didn't know how to approach it. He said he'd set boundaries moving forward, which I think should have been set from the very beginning, but he's that nice guy. Our children have been to their office multiple times and I know everyone there knows he is engaged with a family. Why is she comfortable enough to send her engaged supervisor these kind of emojis? I want to believe him because he's my best friend and I love him, but why would he let her get this comfortable? Am I making something out of nothing? Suspect fiancé.
I have a dilemma. My fiancé and I were at dinner with friends last weekend. We started talking about our upcoming marriage and I shared how happy I was and that I couldn't wait to be married. My friend started teasing me about it and then he said to my fiancé, "What do you think? Are you as excited about being married to this jerk?" She laughed and said, "Oh yeah. He's totally a safe option for me." Her reply caught me off guard and it made me wonder if she is settling for me because she couldn't find anyone better. I don't want to make too much out of this and I'm worried that if I bring it up I'll say something stupid and ruin the relationship. But what do you think she meant by safe option? Wondering fiancé.
My BF is a recovering alcoholic. He's been through some tough times, rehab, and I've stuck with him. The last 6 months have been great. He is out of rehab, he's sober, has a great job and feels great. Now, here's the problem. I signed a lease for a small property owned by my parents. I've been there for a couple of years and pay rent, pay all utilities and function as a legal renter. They don't charge quite as much as they would someone else, but it's not free either. When I signed the lease, they added a clause about my BF. He was not in a good place at the time. It was before rehab and they insisted that he would not be permitted on the premises. I think they did this because they were trying to protect me and I couldn't really argue with them at the time. I asked what would happen when and if he got sober and they said we would reconsider it and talk about it then. Well, he is better and they still won't let him be in the apartment, even to hang out. I don't think they're being fair since he's changing his life and they won't give him a break. So my question is this, if your parents are your landlords and own the property, but you pay rent, should they be allowed to tell you who can and can't come over as guests? Is this even legal? What should I do? Tenant, daughter.
I've been dating my boyfriend for 5 years. We split everything 50-50, including utilities, groceries and rent. But, recently our living situation changed. We both got new jobs and we are currently living in Ventura. My dad works in real estate and he has several investment properties. He is letting me live in one of his houses rent-free but said that my boyfriend would have to pay him $1,100 a month. My dad is protective but is still nice to my boyfriend. His reason for making my boyfriend pay rent is to be sure that my boyfriend is with me for me and not a free place to live. The $1,100 a month is cheap. If my dad rented this house out to tenants, he would charge $3,100 a month for rent, so my boyfriend really has nothing to complain about. My boyfriend is mad and said he wants me to pay $550, half of what my dad wants him to pay. I said that's not how it works and that I should not have to pay anything. My dad is only charging him. He says that we have been splitting the rent for the past 2 years, so why would we stop now? What do you think I should do? At our other place we were both paying $1,000, so I told him I would give him $100 so it wouldn't change for him, but he's still upset. Daddy's girl.